All right, so day one is done. The event was yesterday and it was amazing. Andrew and Pete did a fantastic job on the event. Now let's talk about the content for a little bit. So to me, there is one way of looking at it is there could be two broad categories of content. There could be informational content and there could be inspirational content. So informational content is stuff that helps you. It's data. It tells you how to do something, how to implement something. You can take actions based on information. And I think informational content is widely more prevalent than inspirational content. And the thing is, if you have information without inspiration, then what happens is you don't do anything, right? You get the information and then you have nowhere to go from there. You need something else that's going to help motivate you to take a step, do something, because ultimately that's everything. Lao Tzu says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? So if somebody just tells you informationally, hey, this journey is 1,000 miles, well, most of the time when you hear something like that, you respond with, oh my God, all these obstacles. Well, what if I don't have the right shoes? What if I don't know the direction? We end up keeping ourselves from taking that first step because we're so daunted about imagining what the whole 1,000 steps is going to be. But of course, the key is it's an imagination. We're psyching ourselves out. Inspirational content bypasses this, right? Information you can get in these whole analysis paralysis situation. But with inspirational content, it's kind of like a magician. It goes behind the intellect and lights a fire for you to do something without you necessarily knowing why. You can end up reading 1 million articles, you can end up going to thousands of events, but if you don't get inspired to do something, you're just going to be repeating a cycle and not actually going anywhere. The only thing that's important in terms of understanding where you want to go and where you want to get to is what you want personally, right? Where do you want to go? It's not where somebody else says you should go or what society says you should be doing. It's where do you want to go, right? And that's the most important thing. And if you know that, then anything that can help you get from where you are now to where you want to go is of value, in my opinion. Okay, so this long thing that I'm just saying is one of the things that I think was really prevalent in this event was inspirational content. There was certainly informational content, but the fact that there was inspirational content means that a lot of the people who were there, the 300 plus people who attended this event, they're actually going to do something. I think the first step is the hardest step to take because we have so many fears and objections. And that was kind of the umbrella theme of the event, that they started off in the beginning facing fears, which I personally think is amazing to be doing at an event like this, because I think that this topic doesn't get enough attention in the business world. Everybody knows that it's there, but you kind of just ignore it. But the thing is, when you look at something and when you face it and when you address it, it actually minimizes it. When you ignore it, it gets bigger than it actually is. So when we ignore our fears, when we don't face them and do things, then things get magnified in a way. But when we face them and we do something, immediately after we've done it, we're like, oh wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, right? when you kind of get used to the process of facing your fears, first of all, you realize that what you were calling a fear is actually not a fear. It's just a feeling and a sensation that you get when there's something new. There's something new here I've never done before. I'm unsure, right? And there's a feeling associated with that, and we can label it as fear, but we can label it as other things too. The label's not important. The fact is we feel it, and it's something that is a resistance. To me, you could call it fear, but you could also call it growth. Because to me, that is the process of growth. I mean, think of a seed that starts to sprout. If that seed could have the mind of a human, would that be a comfortable process for it? I mean, it's in some ways violent. You know, it's breaking a shell open, it's sprouting this thing, it's growing and stretching, right? That could be uncomfortable. But that's how it turns into a tree. Yes, we want to face our fears and build that muscle, but also in time realize that this is just a part of life. And they're not fears. It's just a natural sensation that happens when we're doing something new. Just let me fail forward fast. I mean, we've all heard this. This is a great saying because it's just get it out of the way. Just do it, right? Because as soon as you've done it, now you're on the path of growth. And I feel like in that spirit, it then unlocks the community, how the community can help each other, right? Conversations start that wouldn't otherwise have started, you know, because you're recognizing that, hey, we're all in the same boat. You know what? It doesn't matter that we have 300 different people, 300 different destinations that we're going. It's going to look different, but what we're going to have to go through and what we're going to have to face is exactly the same. You know, it's really no different.